Good morning students, today we will discuss Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. It is the last novel completed by Thomas Hardy and the original title of the novel was The Simpletons Heart Insurgent. Alright, divided into 6 parts, the novel is concerned with the issues of class, education, religion and marriage. Just like I mentioned in the previous novel, The Mayor of Casterbridge, that we have discussed in the previous video, that Thomas Hardy used to write tragic novel. This novel, Jude the Obscure, is also a tragic one. Alright, so we have the main character in the novel named Jude Foley. He is 11 years old and he lives with his aging aunt Drusilla in Mary Green. Her aunt runs a bakery shop and he helps her in her work. We have another character in the novel and that is Richard Phillotson. He is the teacher of Jude and he is such a good teacher that Jude wants to be like him when he grows young. And now what happens in the novels is that Mr. Phillotson leaves Mary Green to take university degree from Christminster. Do not get confused about all these cities and the towns because they are all fictional. So just like we have university like Oxford, we have this Christminster that is set in Hardy's fictional place Wessex. So Jude too wants to become a scholar like his teacher. Alright, so moving forward, Jude grows young and keeps on helping her aunt in the bakery. Side by side, he continues his study in a hope that someday he will get into Christminster. He even teaches himself classical Greek and Latin, and at the age of 16, he decides to devote himself to biblical texts. But now what happens in the novel is that all his ambitions come to full stop when he gets into a girl named Arabella Dawn. Arabella is the daughter of a farmer and she traps him by pretending that Jude has made her pregnant with a child. So there is no choice for Jude and he decides to marry her. But after a while we come to know that this marriage turns out to be disastrous. He also finds that Arabella has deceived him. So due to their unhappy married life, Arabella leaves him and returns to her parents in Australia. On the other hand, Jude moves to Christminster. He still has a dream that someday he will get an opportunity to study there. So when he reaches Christminster, he rents a room there in the city and a job as a stone mason. He is very heartbroken to find that only rich and wealthy people will get the opportunity to study in Christminster. He is very disappointed, but he does not give up. He keeps up with his studies. Then later on, as we read the novel, we find that Jude also meets his cousin Sue Bridehead. Sue is very intelligent and attracted by her intelligence and knowledge, Jude falls in love with her. Now, Mr. Phillotson reappears in the novel and he requires a pupil teacher to help him with his work. So in order to keep Sue in Christminster, Jude motivates Sue to work for Mr. Phillotson. She agrees and she starts working for him. Side by side, Jude is also trying to get into universities. He even writes to 5 different professors, but they all reject him and remind him of his social status. They remind him that studies are only for the rich and wealthy people and not for him. Jude gets very disappointed and he leaves Christminster. He gets a low-ranked job in a church and he begins studying religion, or we can say theology. On the other hand, there comes a news that Sue is going to get married to Mr. Phillotson. She is also heartbroken that Jude did not tell about his marriage with Arabella. She impulsively marries Phillotson soon after that. But again, what happens in the novels is that she finds herself unhappy with Mr. Phillotson. Sue gets divorced from Mr. Phillotson and goes to Jude. They both start living happily, but Sue rejects the idea of getting married again and wants to live with the Jude just as companions. Jude has no problem in that and he also agrees. So now everything is going fine in the novel, but what happens is that Arabella reappears in the novel and tells that she has married to another man. She has also born a child 8 months after she left Jude, so she is sending their son to Jude to take care. The name of the son is Little Father Time or you can say nicknamed as Little Jude. He's the son of Jude and Arabella, and now he is with Jude. The problem with Little Jude is that he is very ill-tempered boy. He is really annoying and gets angry on little things. But there is no choice, they have to go along with him. Jude and Sue also bore 2 children of their own. And now the tragedies begin to happen in the novel. Jude and Sue are financially broke. They are unmarried, so the people around the couple start gossiping and criticizing them. They are forced to leave the place, and moreover, Sue is pregnant once again with another baby. Now one day what happens is that Sue is out looking for some place to rent, and meanwhile the little Jude thinks that Jude and Sue will be more happier without their children. So what he does is he hangs himself and the other 2 children to death. He also leaves behind a suicide note which reads, "Done because we are too many." When Sue and Jude look at this, they are shattered. Sue thinks that God has punished her for staying with Jude without marriage. They have done the sin and God has punished them. So she leaves Jude and goes back to Phillotson. On the other hand, Jude is very devastated. He thinks that he had been a lot happier doing some ordinary jobs instead of chasing his dreams. He gets so depressed that he gets into heavy drinking, and at the end of the novel, he reunites with Arabella but falls seriously ill. Soon after that, he dies. No one is affected by his death, and Jude dies alone. So that's how the tragedy happens at the end of this novel, just like all other novels written by Thomas Hardy. I hope you found the video worth your time. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe the channel for more such updates. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.